Today, we're stepping back into the 1960s, a decade where everything changed, both on screen and off. The women we're about to spotlight didn't just act, they defined what it meant to own the screen. Their presence wasn't always loud, but it was unforgettable. These are 10 performances where style, confidence, and pure magnetism reshaped what star power really looks like. Brigitte Bardot, Le Mépris, 1963. The story goes the American producer Joseph Levine was pressuring director Jean-Luc Godard. He wanted more sex appeal from Bardot. Apparently thought she wasn't looking sexy enough. Godard's response was that really long, very still nude scene. She calmly asks her lover to describe parts of her body. Do you like my feet? Do you like my knees? It's detached, soft, almost clinical, the opposite of what the producer must have wanted. Camille is a wife emotionally disconnecting. She barely raises her voice. Her beauty isn't fiery, it's cool, distant, kind of hypnotic. Godard filmed her in natural light, minimal makeup, really simple clothes, swimsuits, robes, loose tops. It strips away the usual movie star stuff, but she still commands the screen completely. You cannot look away. The film flopped in the US, but found a second life. Her performance was key because of that stillness, that strange, magnetic stillness. She wasn't trying to seduce. She didn't need to. She made silence and distance feel powerful, almost dangerous. 3 roles, 1 movie, and Sophia Loren made every single one unforgettable. In Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, she plays 3 different women across 3 Italian cities, and somehow makes each one hotter than the last. But the one everyone remembers? The last story. Naples. Her character is a prostitute named Mara, and she delivers one of the most famous stripteases in movie history. Slowly undressing for Marcello Mastroianni, who's losing his mind on the bed behind her. He's desperate. She's in control. That's the heat right there. Loren didn't play sexy like it was a performance. She played it like she owned it. No wide-eyed innocence. No fake naivety. She was bold, confident, and magnetic. And she had range. In the first story, she's a poor wife selling cigarettes on the street. In the second, a wealthy woman caught in an affair. And in the third, full bombshell mode. This wasn't some underground cult film either. It won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film and was a box office hit internationally. Big movie, big moment. And that striptease still gets referenced today. Because when Loren turned it on, the whole screen melted. Elizabeth Taylor, Butterfield 8, 1960. It's legendary how much she disliked it. Apparently only took the part because of her contract and was furious about losing another role. But that frustration almost seems to fuel her performance as Gloria. You can feel it simmering underneath. Gloria is an escort. She projects this whole I don't care attitude, but it's painfully obvious she does care. Deeply. She drinks too much. Falls for the completely wrong guy. She tears through scenes like she's burning out. There's a frantic energy to her. Every outfit hugs her figure. Her voice is low, kind of slow, but absolutely loaded with attitude. Disdain even. She doesn't flirt in this role. It's more like she dares you. There's a challenge in her eyes, in her posture. She later joked about the Oscar being a sympathy vote after she'd been sick. She didn't think the role had much depth. But it connected with audiences. It made money. Critics never fully embraced it. It's not counted among her capital C classics, but people remember her in it. There's something about her in that role, maybe that defiance that people can't forget. Giving a performance she didn't want to give and making it unforgettable. Catherine Deneuve, Belle de Jour, 1967. Séverine is a quiet, elegant, upper-class housewife with a secret life, working at a high-end brothel in the afternoons. Deneuve's presence is built on contrast. External composure, perfect elegance, almost detached. Internally, everything's unraveling. Her almost frozen beauty, perfect posture, minimal expressions, it all feels incredibly controlled. But because you know her secret, that control feels like it could snap. Every flicker of her eyes, every small shift, becomes massive because she holds so much back. Buñuel never explains why Séverine does what she does. He lets it remain a mystery. Her motivations play out through fantasy, strange clients, and tiny, deliberate gestures. You're constantly trying to figure her out. That mystery is part of the pull. The film pushed boundaries, but artistically. Not pornographic. It was a big hit in Europe and became a cult favorite worldwide. It cemented Deneuve's international status. She didn't overplay the inner turmoil. She stayed reserved, passive on the surface. That stillness made her presence erotic and unsettling. She didn't chase attention. She withheld it. That lingering mystery, the sense you never fully grasp her, that's why the film still feels modern, and why Deneuve in that role is impossible to pin down. Claudia Cardinale, The Leopard, 1963. Visconti's epic moves slowly, but everything shifts when Claudia Cardinale enters. She doesn't show up until halfway through, but when she does, the energy changes. She plays Angelica, daughter of a wealthy merchant, crashing the old aristocratic world through marriage. The most famous moment is the ballroom scene. She walks in wearing a pale pink gown, glowing under the lights. No dramatic music, no slow motion, just her smile, and it takes your breath away. She's magnetic. She knows the effect she's having, especially on Alain Delon's character. She doesn't speak much, but her looks do the work. Behind her eyes is a mix, playfulness, innocence, but also calculation. She knows her power, her beauty, her youth, her family's new money. She's figuring out how to use it in a world that's crumbling. The Leopard was critically acclaimed in Europe, won the Palme d'Or. Didn't make much impact in the US at first, but it's now a masterpiece of historical cinema. Cardinale brought the spark. Amidst the melancholy and fading grandeur, she was beauty, poise, youth, and something maybe dangerous. The future walking into the past, wrapped in silk, steady, absolute confidence. Join Club VintageVerse. Regular videos, still free. Always. But for the price of a fancy coffee or like one sad movie theater popcorn, you get early access, exclusive videos, custom emojis, evolving badges, and all the behind-the-scenes extras. Hit join and treat your watch list better than you treat your caffeine habit. Raquel Welch, 1 million years BC, 1966. She has maybe 5 lines in the entire film. It didn't matter, it was all about the image. The fur bikini, the cliff, the wind in her hair. Welch plays Loana, a cave woman who mostly communicates through grunts, stares, and action, but her physical presence carries everything. She looks strong, alert, in control, even while surrounded by rubber dinosaurs. She projected strength and capability inside a completely campy setup. Hammer Films reportedly had no idea what they had. But the poster, her mid-stride in the fur bikini, exploded internationally. It made her a global sex symbol overnight. The film got mixed reviews. It was seen as campy even at the time, but it became a cult classic because of her. It's remembered because of that look, that presence. She didn't play Loana as weak or overtly sexualized. She played her like a survivor, with attitude. Welch didn't need dialogue. She turned prehistoric survival into something mythic, tough, silent, iconic. That single image, the stance, the stare, it became cinematic legend. Half goddess, half predator, one of the most enduring screen personas of the decade. Ursula Andress, Dr. No, 1962. She walks out of the Caribbean in a white bikini, knife strapped to her hip, singing to herself. No big music cue, no fanfare. Just that entrance, and everything changed. She plays Honey Rider, a seashell collector. On paper, not a role meant to define a franchise, but she brought something bigger. She looked completely confident, curious, and entirely unbothered by stumbling into Bond or the danger that followed. She wasn't a damsel. She had survived on her own long before he showed up. The bikini was custom-made in Jamaica. That moment, her emerging from the water, launched her into instant global stardom. Dr. No was the first Bond film, and no one knew if it would succeed. But it hit big, especially in the UK. She became the blueprint. Every Bond girl after was compared to her. Honey Rider defined that specific mix: beauty, independence, and capability. She didn't try to steal the spotlight. She was the spotlight. That quiet self-assurance, the strong posture, the knife, it was understated, iconic, and permanent. One scene created a cinematic archetype that still echoes today. Natalie Wood, Sex and the Single Girl, 1964. She plays Dr. Helen Brown, a psychologist who writes a book about single women, and immediately becomes the target of reporters, mistaken identities, and bedroom farce. Classic mid-60s sex comedy setup. But Natalie Wood's presence makes it feel different. She plays Helen as incredibly smart, stylish, and completely in control. Even as the plot spins into chaos, she keeps her footing. Sharp pencil skirts, dramatic eyeliner, and a clear awareness of how she's being watched. She leans into the perception, but always stays ahead of it. Her confidence allows her to be funny, playful, even teasing, in ways she didn't always get to show in heavier dramas. Her chemistry with Tony Curtis works, quick dialogue, flirty timing, but she always maintains control. There's no big emotional breakdown, no tragic moment, just charm and wit. Her intelligence and self-possession carry the film. It did fine at the box office, but wasn't a critical favorite. Some parts haven't aged well, but her performance stands out. She flipped the usual power dynamic. She didn't have to push, she just was confident, smart, elegant. It felt modern for a female lead in a comedy. She owned it. Quietly, but completely. Tuesday Weld, Lord Love a Duck, 1966. She plays Barbara Ann Green, a high schooler obsessed with becoming famous by any means necessary. On the surface, she's the ideal 60s teen dream, blonde, bubbly, always smiling. But it's a mask. Beneath that charm is something colder, calculated, manipulative. She twists everyone around her, teachers, classmates, even her father, without ever raising her voice. She never loses that sweet, innocent tone. Weld plays Barbara Ann like she knows a dark joke no one else gets. Her presence is magnetic in a deeply unsettling way. She's usually in pastels, speaking in a sugary voice, but every word is designed to get her exactly what she wants. It's not a parody, it's control disguised as innocence. The sweater scene says it all. She tries on sweater after sweater for her dad. It's funny and deeply uncomfortable. She uses something harmless to assert complete power. That moment defines the film's tone. Strange, satirical, and impossible to pin down. The movie flopped. Too dark for comedy, too weird for critics, but it became a cult classic. Weld is the reason. Her performance walks a fine line between satire and seduction, and makes both feel dangerous. She made manipulation look mesmerizing. Jane Fonda, Barbarella, 1968. The plot barely matters. Fonda floats through space in a zero-G ship, encountering bizarre aliens and surreal situations. It's campy, packed with innuendo, and visually outrageous. But what defines it is her presence. She plays Barbarella with total wide-eyed innocence. She isn't trying to be sexy, she reacts with wonder, curiosity, and kindness. Even in nearly transparent costumes, her energy is open, not calculating. She's not helpless, just ready for whatever weirdness comes her way. The opening striptease sets the tone. Fonda undresses in zero gravity, silently, slowly. It's not provocative. It's strangely peaceful. The whole film follows that mood, playful, innocent, and confidently strange. Critics didn't know what to do with it. It bombed in the US, but over time it gained a massive cult following, especially among sci-fi and fashion fans. Fonda wasn't thrilled with it at the time, but the image stuck, the energy stuck. In a decade full of femme fatales and icy survivors, Fonda brought something else, surrealism and joy. She didn't dominate with danger or silence. She floated through chaos with lightness. In a film filled with madness, she was calm, curious, and unforgettable. From icy stares to slow smiles, these women defined a different kind of heat. Some teased, some ruled, some vanished, and left a mark anyway. Which 60s screen siren had you completely hooked? Drop your pick, and don't forget to follow VintageVerse for more cinematic deep cuts.